Cory, I'm really looking forward to this. I always love talking with you, become good friends ever since even before I came down there, along with the rest of the crew here. So, hey, you got the floor. Let's rock and roll.
Thank you, Chris. And I love this platform. I love to see this growing so quickly, especially with the focus in Puerto Rico. And just let me get a plug out for those of you who want to consider and see things, what Opportunity Zone business is like in Puerto Rico. Please come down in January. It'll be worth your time to come down in January. And January in Puerto Rico is absolutely splendid. If you look out your window and you see anything close to snow, January is the perfect place, perfect time to be in Puerto Rico. So I hope to see you all down here. The last trip was just awesome to see so many people. I want to talk a little bit about our organization. We started a group called Porto Ventures, and Hugo, I will do my best to pronounce Puerto Rico the best that I can. And I saw your message in there. I'm working on it, and but thank you for that. The reason we moved down to Puerto Rico, my businesses, I've started a number of businesses over the years. And I'm originally from Utah, and very different scenery than Puerto Rico. But we moved our ventures down to Puerto Rico for two reasons. Number one, opportunity zones just create a great space for growing business. A lot of people look at real estate opportunity zones and think it can just be real estate, but businesses are built for the opportunity is built for businesses, I think, even more than real estate. So if you're curious about business, please reach out, connect with me. I'd love to share more information. We moved, as I mentioned, Porto Ventures. We started it up in Puerto Rico and started moving our tech companies down to Puerto Rico, our startups. Our goal is to create jobs. If when you come down here in January, ask your Uber driver what their education background is and quite often you'll hear that they have an engineering degree and they're driving Uber. And it's heartbreaking to see, in the sense that they're not able to use their talent to the level that they've been educated to. But these people are resilient, hardworking. It's a great environment for pulling in tech businesses into Puerto Rico. So I want to share a little bit about my background. I've started up a number of businesses for the past 20 years, back when I used to have hair, and focused a lot on tech and demand creation. We've created a number of platforms. Our first venture, we started with $50,000 of investment, and we grew that into $30 million in sales over about a 30-month period. And then from there, we just started growing additional ventures. We had one that just received a $70 million investment in one of the projects that we're tied to. But our whole focus now, if you can see behind me, is growth in PR. We want to grow jobs and ventures in Puerto Rico. We're seeking investment for a few of the projects that we're working with under the fund. One of the primary projects is called Panel. Panelcx.com is the domain, and we call it Tech Stack as a Service. It's all of the safe connections and secure communications that every small business needs. Everything from the internet connection to hardware, software, it all comes in a simple bundle that businesses plug in. Now, when there's disruption, that can happen in any environment. In Puerto Rico, it can be storm related. But when that happens, we actually have redundant internet connections for business, so they can maintain their business and not go down when they have a failure on an internet connection. We've got redundant backups, phone systems, everything is all tied to our hardware. And the challenge is that there's so much complexity in the marketplace. And every small business owner now has to be a security engineer, or they risk losing what they've invested into their businesses. And on top of that, none of the products that businesses buy can talk well to each other. They all compete against each other. And every time you add a new product as a small business, you raise a risk of compromise of having somebody get in and access your system. Now, you don't need to read through all of these, but these are all of the services that we've replaced with Panel. It's a single platform, and the average business will pay about $1,000 for between 5 to 20 employees will pay up to $1,000 per month for these services, and we get this down to closer to $100 per person per average in a small business, but also in a very secure environment. Now, the addressable market, $1.74 trillion is what the market space allows. Small businesses have typically been treated as residential customers, but we give them a voice. We work with them, collaborate with them, pool their services together, and so we can get buying discounts. We have acquired a phone company that's part of this, a voice over IP company, founded in 2007, one of the most forward-thinking voice over IP technology companies out there, and they're the core of our communication platform with Panel. The other project that I'm excited to discuss is a project called Puerto. And Puerto is, having come down here, as I mentioned, I moved from Utah. It's intimidating, it's challenging. I think it was Jose, in the comments, you had mentioned the importance of Jose Fernandez. You had mentioned the importance of integrating with local people and learning about things down here in Puerto Rico, renting a place for 3 to 6 months. I couldn't agree more. It's not good. Sometimes people look at change as good or bad, and I think it's just different, and different is great. We help individuals who are looking to, we found that a lot of people are moving down here to Puerto Rico, or looking at it, or want to invest or participate in some way. And so we help people move themselves, their businesses, and their assets to Puerto Rico. This is a story, this top headline from Bloomberg News in June of 2021, that some attorneys are getting between 5 and 15 queries per day about the tax incentives and opportunities into moving into Puerto Rico. Now, the challenge with Puerto Rico is that if you're going to, not so much the challenge, but the reality is, if you're going to be down here, you've got to be down here for at least most of the year. A lot of the people that I know are down here for more than half of the year. You've got to have your main possessions tied here in Puerto Rico, and your Puerto Rican income applies. And that's why investing in a business in an opportunity zone presents some opportunity, because it is opportunity and income that can come from a business from a start point, from your investment point going forward. Now, what our value proposition is that moving takes time and understanding. And what Puerto does is connects people who are moving down here with locals in Puerto Rico that know the language. A number of them have grown up here in Puerto Rico. They know the customs, they know the areas, and they will help you integrate to the island. Now, the reason that we're focused on this, 2 reasons I mentioned in the past. I've got a IT platform and a background in, a tech platform, and also a background in demand creation. We reach audiences first, and that's how we built our businesses, and finding individuals who could be candidates who may want to move resources to Puerto Rico. And so that's what we do. We've got a substantial marketing budget that will help reach those people, but then a whole lot of automation that will help people move down here and get familiar with things, and find resources that will help them get integrated to the island. But again, the focus is not just to build a funnel, but it is to build a connection to Puerto Rican businesses and resources. We work with Puerto Rican attorneys, lawyers, CPAs, professional business services all across the island, not just in San Juan, but really all across the island. What we're doing is we're generating revenue through Puerto on a monthly recurring basis. We have 3 tiers of participation. Those that come to the island will sign up on a subscription basis for our platform, and they will have access to our services on a tiered level, depending on what level of service they're looking for. Anything from introductory support all the way to full white glove support, top tier support. And we can help you through a majority of those things, and guide and navigate through the processes that will get you here to the island. Now, one thing that is critical for us is having a tech startup and knowing the value of technology and good jobs. that can come with that. We want to bring these tech jobs to Puerto Rico. We have businesses that are seeding their support and other job options to our entities so that we can hire people in Puerto Rico and help them take advantage of the education, the background. Puerto Rico is the jumping off point for both North and South America. It is just rich in culture, but it is not tied just to a North American culture. It is a perfect place to access, connect to Central and South America as well. And when you've got a circumstance where people have gone through hurricanes and other natural challenges, it builds resilience. And there are a number of highly resilient, hardworking individuals that we want to apply opportunity to. As is mentioned, the number of people on the island is, that's a challenge. It needs to grow going forward, and so we want to help bring a lot of those individuals back to Puerto Rico, and then also help those that have talent, so that big tech doesn't come in and grab them, pull them off the island into some other scenario that benefits that company, but certainly does not help Puerto Rico. What we do is we've got an onboarding platform. Again, I mentioned we are first. We connect with people, potential people that either want to have a connection, investment, or move to Puerto Rico. We connect with them first. Substantial marketing budget to make sure that happens. And then we do an onboarding interview. We listen, we build a full profile around them. It's been mentioned a couple of times how critical it is to have the spouses, or if it's a couple or a family, to have those things tied together. And so we want to understand that as they come down, and then we help them make the match, whether it is transferring assets, finding resources, helping them connect here on the island. That is our focus on this. Another thing that we do is data enhancement. As these individuals come down and we're connecting them with services down here, we help build a profile on the potential individuals that are coming down so that we can help the individual understand ways that they may take advantage of other resources down here on the island, but also help those that we're connecting with, the businesses down here, to fully understand the profiles and backgrounds of the people that they'll be working with. These are some of the services, anything from dental insurance, legal services, concierge services is a big thing. Some of the services that you have to go through down here. Think about the last time you went to the DMV. Never a favorite opportunity for anybody, but imagine down here in Puerto Rico, you can actually hire somebody that will go through and stand in lines for you for a lot of things. And again, it's a gateway opportunity for individuals that are looking for work, but they want to serve, and it's a way for you to connect with locals and help create job opportunities down here. Documentation, applications, recreational options. If you like to fly, there's some great pilot options down here in Puerto Rico to see pineapple farms from 100 feet above the ground. Stunning view, and we're seeing. So that's what this is what Puerto does, is to help that. This is our roadmap that we've built out. Obviously we're wrapping up to Q4 2001, but we have an entire goal and path for continued revenue and growth through 2012. So that's it. Just quick and dirty. I know that was way too short to do anything justice, but I would love to answer any questions that you have. And also, again, if you have not been down to Puerto Rico, you should consider at least come down and understand the option. Meet the people that are down here. Felix, he'll be presenting in a bit. Chris can talk about it, but Brian Borgery and Kendall and I'm going to leave people out. Kimberly, especially if you want connections to certain parts of the island, there's not a better introduction or connection than Kimberly. And Nate, your presentation was fantastic as well. But just reach out if you've got any questions about our technology platform panelcx.com, or if you are looking for a way to integrate to the island, or just have questions, then if you go to puertal.com, puertal.com, then we can connect and have help you in any way that would benefit you.